Goddesses being on our side, I will be joined by Katie, who's live in our studio at MacWheely. My name is Eva. I'm the director of both the Scottish Yarn Festival and the Scottish Show Producer Showcase. So enough of me blithering on, let's go and invite Katie to join us. There she is. I hate this moment. I really, really do. Okay, fingers crossed. Are you there, Katie?
Here we go.
Hello, are you there? Oh, what a morning it is here. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right. Just not the best of days out there.
No.
Cats are a little bit moo.
Yeah.
I've got pre-yarn event blocking happening in my studio, trying to keep the cats out of there and away from the knitwear, because of course they just want to go and lie on it with their murder mittens.
Okay. Must be a flame light
But yeah, hello, lots of people joining us, which is lovely. Bang on 12 o'clock on a Saturday is obviously the time to go live, to get people actually live. So for those who may be tuning in from my side and don't know who you are, Katie, who are you? What do you do?
Hi, I'm Katie. I'm from MacWheely. I am an indie dyer, spinner, weaver, knitter, sometimes felter. Pretty much anything to do with fibre, I'm there. I teach spinning, I teach weaving, I dye my own yarns, my own fibres. What don't I do? All of it. And I've got a shop, so.
You've got a shop, so insert disclaimer here. The shop/studio is currently open. Yes. This will probably be the time when everyone descends, so we may need to kind of pause for a moment. But do you have Lizzie dripping with you?
I don't know. She's at home today. I know, but I do have her latest project with me because I want to show it off because I'm very proud of her. So I taught Lizzie to spin probably about a year ago. She held off for almost a decade. Refused to learn how to spin, and then last year went, I quite like a wheel actually. So she learned to spin, did quite a lot, and then decided she wants to learn to weave last week. And this is her first ever project. And isn't that gorgeous?
Oh, that's incredible. So for those people who are uninitiated and don't know who Lizzie Dripping is, she's Katie's sister.
Yeah, we're very close, which everybody goes, really? I couldn't be that close to my sister, but we live together. We have done for several years. She's daft. We love her to pieces, and she's been learning through osmosis for the last decade. So look how good she is.
That's incredible.
All hands burn apart from the warp, which was actually the Lizzie Dripping yarn that I dyed for her for a birthday last year. So the little specks here, you can just see the warp come through. It's really pretty as well.
Yeah, oh, that's lovely. Oh,
to the show next week. She's not going to make it to the show, unfortunately, because we're watching Beans. And yeah, sadly he can't come because he'd probably be a bit too excitable. So we're watching.
Yeah, it's assistance dogs only in the venue, I'm afraid, because I adore Beans.
Too excited. But yeah, our pal's going away back to Australia for 3 weeks. So we're watching a dog for the time that she's away. Very excited to look after him. Very looking forward to the early mornings and dog walks. It'll be fine. I'm not a morning person, but it'll be fine. We love Beans. So
and there's Beans' mum's just joined us.
Yeah, she has. Hello. We're just talking about
with Beans, probably.
I love him so much that I was going to show Sophie today, but she's not feeling very well. I actually dyed up some floof inspired by Beans, which will be the showcase. So this is one of the things I was going to show you anyway. But this is the Beans colorway. I hope Sophie and Beans place it. But that is on Rambouillet ready to spin or felt.
Ready to be chewed. I'm going to try and not say his name again because I have a Martha Bean who most of the time is just referred to as Beans, and she's next door, and she's a bit antsy because of the weather today, and it's like she's going to bound in here and the bum will be in the camera and things will go funny.
Don't worry, Sophie, you're going to have at least one. So yeah, so Lizzie's Dripping's not going to make it next weekend, unfortunately, but Mama Seal is coming. So I have got some support from my mum, she's very excited. I
do love Mama Seal.
Yes, bless her. She's she's a force to be reckoned with, bless her. But she'll be heading up next week.
Yeah, so people who were at what was Perth Festival of Yarn last year maybe may have met Mama Seal. She was there. She was at our gala dinner, and it wasn't a fashion show, but it was a gala dinner with entertainment with Martin, and she was up in her feet with the rest of us. We do, yeah. Ellen's going, love Mama Seal. Well, Mama Seal will be in the house at the showcase.
She rearranged her entire life so she came up this weekend as well, so she's very excited about it. But yeah, so at least I've got one of them, maybe not both. And yeah, very much looking forward to it. I'm not going to bring a huge amount of yarn. If anything, I'm not bringing any yarn. I'm going to be focusing on accessories, looms, wheels, needles, and fibre. So that's going to be the focus for next week. There's going to be so many beautiful yarns there. There's no point in me bringing anything else. So
There will be. So at the showcase this year at Dewars, we're not down in the main hall, we're on the upper level, which is fully accessible. So don't worry, people, there is a very wide access accessible lift up onto the first floor. Katie, I don't think we're going to have to move you because we've sold significantly more tickets than we thought we would initially. So I'm having to rejig the floor plans this weekend just to make sure that we've got a better flow of people and that nobody's being obscured or anything. So I think you probably will be still staying in the gallery, which is where we originally scheduled you. So I believe you're bringing spinning wheels, you're bringing a loom. So there's the opportunity that if you've never done these things before, Katie and Mama Seal will show you how it's done. You can have a wee shot, and yeah, you're focusing more on bringing your accessories,
exactly.
and some sort of bats and things like that as well. You're using your British fibres because you haven't got particularly Scottish ones sourced. Trying to get.
I'd love to have more Scottish fibre.
Yeah.
So that's something I will be discussing with people when we're at the showcase and see if there's anybody that would be willing to kind of go into more kind of collaborations, etc.
Fabulous. But we do have a few. You know, it's still important to kind of support those sort of British breeds and things as well. Katie is the best teacher. Yes, she is. Ellen, don't show me the limbs. Show Ellen the limbs. I might move Ellen into the gallery now.
I'll have a weaving scarf in the afternoon. It'll be fine. She might need to take more frequent after going home. And I'm also going to bring some fat. So, for reference, that is a bat. That is 100 grams. That is what I call a fat, 250 grams. So it's, yeah, whatever I can squeeze in. So it might be a huge number, but definitely going to bring some fibre with me.
So in terms of accessories, we're talking needles and that sort of thing, aren't you? So who are you a stockist for?
I stock Knitpro Chowgu, plus also the Ashford and Kromsky from the wheels and looms perspective. I will definitely be bringing the full Chowgu range, including the individual needles. So if you want just a single set, as well as the full sets of needles. The Knitpro, I'm going to be bringing some of the Weird and Wonderful accessories, but also the full Mindful collection. So if you've not seen the Mindful collection, that's the most recent kind of iteration of the Knitpro needles. And they are my favourites. They're absolutely beautiful, but they're also kind of new and improved. So they're the closest in quality to Chowgu I've ever seen from any other brand, but at a much more reasonable price point. Well, reasonable, affordable. So they've basically fixed the cables. So if you've ever had issues with their Knitpro cables kinking or getting a bit kind of not ideal around the joins, these are fantastic. So they're memory free, but they also have the swivel tips as well, and they're only £4 for the cable, so they're worthwhile investing in. And they also work with any Knitpro tips, so symphony, zings, carbons, anything you've got, you can fit that cable on, which is really cool. I'm bringing the full range of the Mindful, and they've also got some really beautiful. I'm reading them through that because I love these ones. If anybody's used the knit blockers before, these ones are the Mindful ones, and they're just so pretty. Look how pretty they are.
Just being asked, are the Knitpro nickel or steel?
Oh, that's a very good question. Off the top of my head,
isn't it? I think there's steel, are they not? Because of the amount of people that got nickel allergies. I wouldn't have thought they would have been nickel.
They are stainless steel tips.
Yeah.
And nylon coated steel cable. So I'm 99% certain they are not containing nickel because I've got pals that've got nickel allergies and wouldn't be able to use them if that were the case.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm trying to think the same in terms of my mum and her allergies and things.
I will double check
Yeah,
before doing
yeah.
it.
With you saying that they're being close to Xiaogu, I think it's in terms of the. I think for a lot of people up
Mhm.
until kind of recently, because there are suddenly an awful lot of new needle brands out there that have been developed during the pandemic. I think is they're not like C-knits or something as well. I've recently seen people been doing reviews on.
Ah,
A couple of Scottish podcasters have seen doing them, and it's not like C-knit, but there's I
yeah.
think there might be Scandinavian needles or something like that coming in entire packs at a
Yep.
price point, and it's like, oh, okay. So I think for a long time, Chowgu has been the ultimate. Oh,
Oh, ah.
you know, with the price point attached and worth every penny. I mean, that's
Oh,
one of the
totally on
things.
the season.
Invest in your
Yeah.
tools,
Ah.
um, and
Mhm.
they will not let you down. But I think Knitpro has always been a very good kind of reasonably priced
Mhm.
entry level
Yeah.
needle. A lot of people have
Ah.
got in certain, in particular sizes, the 40 centimeters, 60 centimeters, 80 meters fixed, as well as in investing in sets as well. Um, yeah, I
I
think
use
it was
Knit
time
Pro
that
for,
they had to up their game a little bit, didn't
oh,
they?
definitely, yeah. I say I used Knit Pro for about 10 years and I loved them. I used to use symphonies and then switched to things. And I promised myself I wouldn't get into Chalgu. And when I first got them into the shop about 4 years ago, I used them for one project and within about half an hour. So I can't go back to anything else. Chalgu are just amazing. The Mindful, when they came out, I gave them a wee test and I did the Nights You Say Knit Shawl. I haven't got it with me actually to show you. But when I did that, I did an experiment. So I did half of the shawl in Chowgu and the other half in the Mindful, just so I could
Mm,
compare because they're identical sides and then you join them in the centre. And they were amazing to work with. Like, you couldn't tell the difference. I forgot I wasn't using Chowgu halfway through. So that's like the biggest compliment for the Mindful needles I can give them. So they're a um,
definitely.
really good needle.
The needle tips there looked an awful lot sharper
Mm-hmm.
than nipples used to be.
Oh
Are
yeah.
they? Or is that just how I'm looking at it? Because I'm a big Haya fan.
They are
And I've
not
got to
as
say,
sharp as
it is
higher sharp.
generally because of the points.
Yeah. Nothing's as sharp as higher.
No,
They are almost identical to Chagu actually. There's a very,
are
very
they?
slight difference, but you can't feel the difference when you're knitting with them. And one of the yarns I was using was quite splitty because it was quite high silk content. And I didn't have any issues with the Mindful at all. They were fantastic. If anything, I actually preferred the cables to the Mindful because they had the swivel. The Chowgis, they do have the swivel 360s now, so you can get those as an option, but they don't come as standard with the full sets at the moment. So maybe in the future they will, but we'll see.
Yeah, we've just gone on to like an alternate language here.
I'm
But
sorry, I'm so sorry.
yeah, I mean that to say you're bringing the car as opposed to the van, aren't you? And you will be packing it to absolute gunnels as it is. But if there's like particular needle size, single points, or cables that you are looking for, and you are coming to the showcase, Katie will not be upset if you do message her in advance to say, "Look, please bring this for me. I am looking for this."
If you message
Um,
Thursday, just be on the safe side, any of the Symphony, the Zings, the DPNs, or the Straights, get in touch because I probably won't be bringing them all with me. I'm focusing on the Chowgoos and the Mindful. But if you need anything specific, let me know and I'll see if I've got it available to bring up with me. So yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it's certainly with me, it's always a thing when I'm needing new sets of needles or needle tips or whatever. It's, I'll wait until I need to kind of put in a bigger order with somewhere because postage, and
Yeah.
then of course I don't, and then I go and sit in one of the sort of the wooden needles or something.
Yep.
That's a favourite. It's like,
Oh.
okay, we've done the garment, we've done the sleeves, and on to the final ribbing at the bottom of the jumper, and then something will happen. I'll get distracted by a cat, probably reach out because a cat's about to leap
Yep.
on said wool, Martha. Uh, and I move, and
Yep.
I've just moved that enough to put enough pressure on the wooden needle and just hear
Oh,
that dunk. We've been there, we've all been there too many times. And then, of course, you have to just go and get the needle, don't you?
Yep.
So, yeah, get your orders in, people.
But likewise, if you've got any requests as far as wheels, rooms, etc. concerned, I'm bringing, hopefully, if I've got enough room, I'm planning on bringing the Kromsky Fantasia and the Kiwi 3 for demos, plus the Kromsky loom. Kromsky hat 40. I probably won't have space to bring the big loom as well, so we'll keep it to those three. But if you do want to see anything else, I've also got a few other wheels that I can bring. If you really want me to like demo it for you, I can do so.
Yeah. Anything else that you're planning on bringing or you want to tell the people while the floor is yours?
Not that I can think of. I think everything else is kind of the usual. There's nothing out for the ordinary. There's a few more colorways and stuff and a few newbies that are coming. I'm going to be carding up like crazy this week, so there's going to be loads of new bats and bats. But other than that, I'm very excited for next weekend. So looking forward to coming along.
Can't wait to see you again. If you are in the Kirkintilloch area, or you're round about in Scotland, or you're coming up for a holiday or whatever, do go on to Katie's website, Celie MacWheely, and have a wee look at the opening hours. You've got all sorts going on where you are. You've kind of got like all day long knit and natters.
Oh yeah, all day.
You do Sunday spinnings on occasion. You've got a class tomorrow, a weaving class tomorrow, don't you?
I've got a walk up and weave a scarf tomorrow from 11 till 5. I think I've got one space available, so if anybody wants to come along, you're more than welcome to. And that is I don't have my scarf with me either. That's really annoying. Have a look on the website.
Yeah, so, and Beans will be there for the next month.
Yes, Beans will be there for the 3 weeks as of Wednesday. He can be a bit yappy when you first walk in, but he's an absolute sweetheart. If you're at all worried, don't be. I can always give him a snuggle until he comes down a wee bit, but he's an absolute sweetheart. He's a good boy. We've got a sign for the door as well, so as a heads up in case he's in the shop if anybody's a bit nervous around dogs. But yeah, he'll let you do it.
So plenty going on. For all your fibre needs in Kirkintilloch, definitely Celie MacWheely is the place to go. And but next weekend, this time next weekend,
yeah,
we will be at the Tour Centre. I think there's only about 30 tickets left. There really are not many. We don't expect any to be available in the door. I really would not chance it. One certain maximum capacity, once the fire services say this is the amount of heads that you are allowed in here, we really cannot take any more in. So if you're wanting to come, get on the Scottish Yarn Festival. Perfect timing for wrapping it up. Get on the Scottish Yarn Festival website, get your tickets, come and visit us. Come have a shot at the wheels, the looms, all the things. Come and see what everything else they've got going on. And I'll see you there, Katie.
I will see you.
And I'll see everyone.
See you next week. Bye. Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye.